Hey y'all, it is February the 10th and I am starting some seeds. I'm so excited out here in the unheated sunroom. If we get temperatures that gets it down, if it's going to get below 38 degrees in here, I'll just bring them inside, but during the day it kind of heats up a little bit. It stays, right now it's about 60 degrees in here, so it's pretty good for the plants I've got so far. But I have, look here, I have 12 of these. This is the German Cape gooseberries. They're the ones, the gooseberries that have a citrus flavor. They're so good, and it's kind of hard to find these. I had to look on Etsy, and I looked all over the internet. I only found one person that was selling the seeds, and I'm growing 12 more this year. I had probably 20 of them. I had too many last year, but they were good. It has almost like a orange vanilla citrus flavor. It's really weird. It's like something you would find like in a tropical plant, but you can grow those in coder zones. I'm growing mine, and we've already got those started. And I've also got some potting soil mixed up. I basically use the the flower and vegetable garden soil that you can get in the big yellow bags at Lowe's or Walmart. And it's got, I think it's 6 months, yeah, 6 months of feeding in it. So I mix some of that in with some of this, just kind of mix it up. That way you have the fluffiness for the seeds to grow, and then you have a little bit of nutrition mixed in with that, with the garden soil. So that will tie them over, hopefully, until I can plant them out on May 10th. So we are 3 months exactly away from putting these outside. All right, so first up is Strawflowers. I've got a plan for these. I want to try to grow a ton of Strawflowers. You can easily preserve them. You just when the flower is still kind of closed and you have one layer of bracts or one layer of petals that opens up during the day, during the sunlight. Don't do it in the evenings when they close back up. You want to do this in the middle of the day when one layer of those petals are opening and the rest is still closed. That's when you take that flower off. You hang them upside down and let them air dry, and I'm going to hang them all upside down on the sunroom during the winter and fall months, so I can come out here and their color literally stays preserved. So I can come out here during the cold season and have flowers hanging down as their beautiful bright selves in the sunroom. So we've already started the seeds about a week ago. I wet a paper towel, and they need light to germinate. So there's that. And I've already got some. Let's pull one out of here. It's been exactly a week. I had that open and closed it right back. Let's see. Here we go. This is how little they are. I don't lose it. See that itty bitty baby? So we're just going to put a little bit of that soil mixture in these little 2-inch square pots I got off Amazon, and we're going to plop this baby down in there. But I want to wet these first, so let's set this one down. I should have wet it first. There we go. So, and that's my little handy dandy cheap ketchup mustard thing I got at I think I got that at the Dollar Tree. So that's nice and moist. Take my finger and push a little hole in there and put my little seedling, my little itty bitty baby. Drop her right in there like that. And there you go. Look at that baby. It's the first of many. This is a colorful Strawflower mix. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out all the ones in here that's turning green. I have some seeds that have not germinated yet. I'm just gonna leave them out here until they all germinate. And you don't want to leave them too long in the paper towels once they start germinating, because they will grow down into the paper towel, and it can be a little bit of a hassle. Like that one, I literally just broke the thing loose from the paper towel, so we don't want to do that. I'll pay better attention. Here's one, another little baby. But we're going to go ahead and do all these little babies, and then we'll come back and talk about what seeds I'm going to start next in the paper towels. And let's see. And I'm going to do some various vegetable seeds. I got to start now, the cold crops that you can start a little bit earlier. They can handle the frost and cold weathers better. And I'm going to start those in paper towels like this as well. They don't necessarily need sunlight, I don't believe, to germinate. So I'm just going to put them in paper towel with Ziploc bags just like this and set them on my counter in the house and let them germinate. So I'll finish doing this and we'll come back. Okay, I've got about 36 of these straw flowers already planted in their little homes. Keep this little dome over so the humidity stays in there. There they all are. And we're going to talk a little bit about the seeds that I'm growing, when I'm starting, and when I'm starting those and why. So we'll get started on that discussion. Okay, to start off, you're probably wondering, why am I starting Strawflower seeds 12 weeks before I'm getting ready to put them outside? So the theory behind this is, every year in the past, I typically don't start my flower seeds, either just throw them straight outside in the ground and let them just grow up whenever they grow up. The ones that I have started, I started probably about 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost date. And the thing with that, and there's nothing wrong with that if you want to do that, and you know, that's perfectly fine. But for me, I'm thinking in terms of, I want lots of cut flowers, and I want lots of flowers blooming earlier in the year. So whenever I throw the seeds out there, or I start these seeds just 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost, I'm not getting flowers till probably July. So the goal this year is to try to get flowers earlier. I want to try to have them popping up flowers, you know, in June, so I get at least an extra month, maybe even May. If I can get an extra 4 to 6 weeks of blooming, that's absolutely ideal. And also the ones that I'm starting the earliest right now, which is the Strawflowers. These flowers, when you cut them when they're not fully open, they will keep blooming out and bushing out. So they'll get bigger and more flowers, and I can keep cutting, and they'll get bigger and more flowers, and cut again, and hopefully I'll have tons of flowers hanging from the ceiling in here, looking beautiful next year, or next Christmas, winter time. So that's why I'm starting these super early. And I'm also going to get ready, y'all, I have 2 big totes of seeds, so I've gotten it down to, this is what I'm planting this year. But like marigolds, let's see, got some of these. They're the same. If you keep deadheading those as they bloom, you will get more flowers and they'll get bushier. You can also do the pinching whenever these straw flowers and marigolds, you know, if they get, and the same thing with peppers, if they get like that tall, then you can pinch the top center and it will make it V out and bush out, and you'll have a bushier, more flowerful plant. So I got my Baker Creek stuff. So like the celosia, things like this, those are not going to repeat flower, but they do like kind of stem up and have a big flower, and then the side shoots of flowers. So with these, look how pretty those are. I'm not going to start these now, but I'm going to start them, instead of 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost date, it's probably going to be 8 weeks before the last frost date. So hopefully they'll start blooming in June instead of July. And same thing with the tomatillas. I've got 2 different varieties I'm growing. They're, yeah, right here. These and these. So I made some good salsa verde with these last year, and these I'm going to try new. So I'm going to start those 8 weeks before the frost date. So last year I didn't start them until like right at May, mid-May, and I didn't get as big of a harvest as I would have liked. So hopefully if I start them 8 weeks early this year, I'll get more. And then also, I don't know where they're at. I have some, what do I have in here? These are painted daisies. I'm going to wait probably 8 weeks for the painted daisies. And then I can't find them. Can't find them. Hold on. Okay, I had a brain freeze. I'm not gonna lie. I was losing the word for it. Zinnias. Those will repeat flower too if you deadhead those after they bloom, and that when that bloom starts dying, cut it off. Or if you wanted to cut it when it's still, you know, fresh and pretty and put it in a vase in your house, you can do that. But if you want more flowers, I'm gonna probably start those maybe we'll start those 8 weeks in advance too, along with the celosia. So that's some of the things that I'm going to start, and the reason why I'm going to start them early. Now sunflowers like the coleus, I'm not going to start till probably 8 weeks before. It's not really well, it is a flower. It's pretty colorful leaves that come out in watermelon type colors and greens and black, purple, and then at the end of the season they shoot up a flower in the center and flower out. So those might get started 8 weeks before too. So that's the main flowers that I'm growing this year: the celosia, the marigolds, the zinnias, and these strawflowers. And in terms of anything else that I'm going to start right now, I have my cold crop type things. So I looked at the cauliflower. One says, and I thought it was kind of strange, and I've never grown either one of these, but I thought they looked pretty cool. Look at the name. Okay. And this one says 6 to 8 weeks, and this one says 2 to 4 weeks. So I might just do, I mean, it's a cold season, so maybe I might go ahead and start the seeds on the wet paper towels now. I'll set those aside and just kind of look at the weather, because they can kind of go out a little bit earlier even if you have a couple more light frosts left. Y'all, I have some broccoli and Brussels sprouts and cabbage and kale that I put out last year in July, and we had below freezing for a solid week. And I don't know if it's maybe where the snow came down first and then it was cold, if the snow kind of like formed an igloo around the plants. They're still alive. It did not kill them. I'm very shocked that I thought for sure they would be gone, but I might even get some out of those this year too in the spring, because they're still growing from last year. And this cabbage, this says it's a 71 day. I might wait a couple weeks on this because it is a 71 day, and I don't want to have a full cabbage head inside in the sunroom when I'm wanting room for a bunch of other stuff, because I have a ton of stuff that I'm going to grow. Brussels sprouts, I'll probably get ready to start these seeds now, and broccoli. So I'm getting ready. So the seeds I'm getting ready to start now would be broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflowers. That one's upside down. So those are going to go on some wet paper towels in Ziploc bags, and then we'll set our friend cabbage aside. And then I'm also going to pull up, I think my bags are inside, honestly, because I harvested so many seeds from my marigolds last year. I have 2 of these plum full of seeds from marigolds. I mean, you pop those flower heads off and you're going to get tons and tons and tons of seeds. So I am going to go ahead and start some marigolds on seeds too, or on the wet paper towels too in Ziploc bags, because once again, these are the flowers that I can deadhead and cut off, and when they get that high, cut the center out like I do with the straw flowers and let them bush out. So whenever May 10th comes around, Mother's Day weekend, you know, if the weather looks good on the weekend before, if I look ahead and see I've got a full week of no frost, I can go ahead and put them out even that week. So they'll be ready to go outside and hopefully start blooming within a couple of weeks, if not already blooming by that point. That way I don't have to wait and look at a flat level of ground and dirt and have to wait another month or two before I start seeing flowers. I want to see them pretty quickly. I don't like waiting. I want to see them pretty quickly after I get those in the ground. So that's we'll put those in with the ones I'm starting on right now. And later on in the season, probably more toward, I've got dogs over here getting into stuff. I'll start my probably like six to 8 weeks before the last frost. I'll also start things like my melons, my squash, my gourds, and I'm even gonna do the moonflower vine. I have the moonflower bush that I showed that I've been planting for years and years and years. They keep growing back here, and then they drop seeds and they spread, but they're absolutely gorgeous. So and that's the moonflower bush. Now I'm doing the moonflower vine on my trellises. And some of the melons, which I'll show these in later videos, but I got seeds in here, y'all. Painted daisy. It's like, I know I got seeds in here that I didn't label, but I'm gonna plant them anyways and see what pops up, because that's just how I am. The garden is your painting. It's a process, and it's a painting that you're never done with. You never sign off on it. You just keep painting away on it, and all summer long, and even when you're planting all winter, you're still painting on that. And when you're pruning and doing all this stuff, it's just a work of art. So, and then I'm gonna grow some ground cherries, maybe some again this year. I had so many out there. I don't even know if I need to do this, but I might try to start just like maybe 3 or 4. I'm pretty sure that they probably seeded last year because I had hundreds of them. And I've heard once you plant ground cherries, you will never have to plant them again. They just keep coming back. And then I have Baker Creek gave me, this is new. This was a free seed. I've never grown this, so that's going to be added I'm going to add maybe 1 plant of this because I don't really know exactly what it is or what it's like. It's brand new. It's a free seed, so I'm going to grow it and see what happens. This year, something new I'm going to do is these honey boat squash, and also the Tahitian, actually banana melon. I tried to grow these last year, and I don't know what happened. If a bug got to them, they didn't grow, so I'm gonna try again this year. And also, I can't find here we go. I'm gonna try this Tahitian melon. We didn't really eat a lot of these, and we ate some of the melons or the squashes. Actually, this is a squash, but during the winter, my chickens love, when you have these big squashes like this, like huge squashes, I cook them in the oven, and my chickens love it. It's a nice warm meal for them in the middle of winter. So I even think about them too. And I think that is it. I might grow some red curry squash again this year. That was pretty good. I got some seeds from my squash from last year. These are pretty good. I actually like them. They are up there with the honey nut. They're on that level with me. I really liked them. And of course, over here, I'm gonna grow some peas. It says sow them 2 in the ground for where I live in April. So we're gonna do some peas again. We'll start those in the month of April, and those are going to go directly outside. I will not start those in here. What? You know what? I'm going to start them in here. They can take a light frost, so maybe the 1st of April, or maybe even in the end of March, I might start those in here and then transplant them out. We'll do that. Why not? It's a painting, remember? Okay, I think that's it. I might grow a couple little melons, sweet melons, besides the banana. We'll see what we got in here. Heck, I don't know. At this rate, I keep thinking I'm done and I see something and then I'm like, oh, I want to grow that too. But anyways, that's the plan for now. And we've got our seeds ready that we're going to put in paper towels, just like I did these Strawflowers, wet paper towels. And I just crack it open once a day and then press it flat again to let fresh, like a layer of fresh air come through the bag, and then I squish it flat again and zip it. So I do that once a day, and that's all she wrote. But and if I have time on this video, I'll also do a little discussion on some fruit trees. I don't know where I'm gonna put them. My yard is so full. We took the pool down. We don't use it much, so and I took the pool deck down, trying to get that area cleared for garden space. But I ordered 2 bush cherries, 2 Nikita's Gift persimmon trees from Logie's, and those things were tiny, like little tiny sticks. They're over here behind me. And I ordered 3 plum trees from Lowe's. They just came out and I just couldn't help myself. So I might show how to train those plum trees too if I have time in this video. So if not, it'll be in the next one. But all right, that's it for now. And you know what? I'll show you. I'm going to show you how to prune those plum trees first year. And when I say first year, I mean when you get them, it's not first year like the first year they grew from the seed. First year is when you first get them you order them from the company that you get them, and they're in their pot or whatever, or their bare root, whatever. First year they're going to sleep, which means you train them however you're going to prune them into their shape. And then the second year, they're not going to grow that much that year, because under the ground the roots are getting established where they're at in their new environment, and they're trying to grow underground. So first year, sleep. Second year, you're still pruning again in that late fall or late Christmas, late winter, early spring. You got to prune them again before the buds break. So that second year, they're going to creep. First year, sleep. Second year, creep. And you're going to keep pruning however you need it, depending on the type of tree. And I have other videos that I just recently posted on pruning certain specific trees. The pruned trees are going to be vased, just like the peaches and the cherries. And then when the second year, whenever they're creeping, that means they're going to grow a little bit more, but not a whole big bunch. So you're going to feel like they're not doing much. Then the third year, they're going to leap. They're going to have a lot of growth. They should start really packing on the growth of the limbs. So you're going to have a fun time really continuing to shape them after that third year of their sleep, creep, and leap. So after they leap in that year, you might get some fruit. I think my apple trees, I might have got 4 apples on about 7 or 8 trees that year. So I'm hoping, then the next year it was busting with blooms. So after that third year, you should start seeing some production, and hopefully if you've pruned them correctly and you have late frost and it's already bloomed, you will be able to put sheets over them to protect them from those late frost, but depending on your area. But in my area, I have to do that because winter sometimes likes to pack a little bit of a punch for a couple of nights after everything's bloomed, and we're out here panicking and covering our whole yards with sheets. We take trips to the Goodwill and get some sheets and cover the trees and whatever else is out there blooming. And I made the mistake once before planting flowers, a bunch of flowers that I started 2 weeks before the last frost, thinking we wouldn't get anything, and we did. And I didn't cover them on one of those nights, and I lost every one of them, and it was pretty devastating. I had to start all over again. But that's it for now, and we're going to go on then to pruning the prune trees, or the plum trees. But before that, a little reference. This is the lettuce and the onions and the artichokes that I started on January 1st. They stayed inside, had their warm season inside, and then I brought them out here where we're getting chilly nights down to about 38, and hopefully they got enough of those chill hours over the last couple of weeks out here. And then when it starts warming up, hopefully these artichokes will flower this year. But also took some sticks off of the peach trees that I pruned. I want to see if I can start those. I don't know, it's just an experiment. Ooh, one of them's trying to bloom. You see that? Wow, I just noticed that. That's crazy. But this is the Nikita's Gift persimmon trees, grafted persimmon trees that I got from Logie's, and they're pretty small. I'm hoping that they are okay, but that's that. All right, let's prune those plums. I was going to do a little video about getting your first year trees in the ground. Now, when I say first year, I don't mean that they were just they were just planted for their very first year. I mean first year as in when you buy them from the store. Now, whenever I bought these 3 plum trees from the store, I decided to go ahead and give them a good pruning like you should the first year. I didn't with my other trees, and that's why I'm trying to make up for the difference now, because I didn't know to do this back then, and I know to do it now. So what I want to do is show you how I select my trees and the process of doing their first year pruning. These are plum trees, so I'm going to treat them like I do my peach trees and my cherry trees, where I center it out and give them that vase shape. I have seen some people literally just whack them off and there's nothing but a stick coming out of the ground. That's traumatic for me. So to avoid doing that, whenever I chose these trees, I looked for the trees that were, first of all, healthy looking, no blemishes or anything like that. And secondly, I looked for limbs that are low to the ground, because the lower the limbs are to the ground, the less whacking that you're going to have to do with these trees. So let's kind of look a little bit closer what I'm going to do with these 3 particular plum trees. Let's zoom in and I'll show you. So in a nutshell, what I have done, and I went ahead and done it, but I took any limbs that are going in and I cut those out. Like right here, I had one coming in, and right here, I had some little ones that was, that long, and I cut those off. So what I'm gonna do next is train these limbs down like that. You can use a stick, kind of like what I did right here, to prop that limb out and down, or you can use a string and tie it, and I'll show that later on. But it was very important that I chose the trees that had the limbs that were lowest to the ground. You don't want limbs that are high up, because it's going to feel pretty drastic when you're cutting all those off to try to get some limbing down at the bottom. So just try to shoot for ones that already have limbs. Like this one right here is ideal. And you just train these limbs to go down like that. And I've lost the stick that I had here. One of the dogs probably got it. But I went ahead and cut. I had like a limb right here going straight up. I cut that off. And I had some coming in that I cut off. And I'm going to just weigh these limbs back like that. Very so gently, because if you push too hard, you're going to split your limb. So you don't want to push too hard, just, enough to give it that angle. Same with this one. And I did just notice that this had a broke limb right there. So, I mean, we'll go ahead and take that off. There's nothing I can do about it at this point. It broke, I guess, on the car on the way here. But with this one, they went ahead at the store and took off that central limb that was coming straight up. So I'm glad they kind of did that. But these right here, I can train this one to kind of go out like that. And where these are too close together, I'm probably going to tie these I can even put like a stick right there in between those two to separate them, like that. And then take this limb and train it out this way. This is probably going to crisscross later on, so I might not keep that, depending on if I can maybe train it down and out. The same with this one. I'll try to train those to go outward. So down and out, limbs low to the ground and healthy. This does have a couple limbs down here that I might be able to get to take off too and limb out, so that would be pretty cool if it did that. But let's show the process of how I'm going to weigh these limbs down. Okay, so for this one, Daisy, come here, baby. Always an animal. Always an animal in the way. Okay, so I have bricks right here. I'm just going to take this brick, tie a string to it, like this. And this is kind of what it's going to look like when I put it in the ground. Set the brick down like that. Can I have this, please, sir? Thank you. So you take your limb like right here, and I'm just going to tie it down like that. See how it automatically took that limb out? So I could start with this one at the bottom. Doggies. Okay. Don't want to do that too tight. You want room for that limb to widen and grow. And then the string is tall enough that I can go like even with the next limb down like this one. And tie that one as well. Just like that. And I can't tie nothing today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like that. So let's get a close-up to see how I did this. Okay, you can see here, I've taken those limbs and pulled them down, tied them, starting with the one at the bottom, working my way up. I could even go a little bit further out if I wanted with that one, like further out on the limb like that. See how that took that down even more and opened up that vase. Do not tie these too tight. That's perfect right there. It actually went out more. Do not tie it too tight because you do want some breathing room in that knot for this limb. If not, you're going to have a circulation issue. It's going to get too tight. But there's the brick. And that's the concept of how I'm going to have these, when I get those planted in the ground, to open up those limbs and open up that vase structure. I'm going to do it on all the other sides too, to pull these limbs down and out like that. And anything growing in like this, if I don't get that to lean sideways, if it's going straight up, I'm probably going to end up getting rid of that limb. This one's broke. We don't need that. And that one too. But yeah, anything going in or up, I'm going to get rid of. Just keep everything that's going vased out. But that is how you train them the first year. Well, that concludes today's episode. Thanks for sticking around and watching to the end. Please like and subscribe. I have more content coming. Spring's in the air. I'm so excited, y'all. See you soon. Bye.